He had these magic sorceries. He took himself up into the air, and Pinchas put on the tzitz, and through the tzitz he brought him down. The whole series is an amazing thing. Well, it's not the place to get involved. The other places we also find amazing. In other words, that the tzitz had this amazing spiritual power. Did not that the tzitz had this amazing power to cause a augureous situation for Yidden, no matter what they were exposed to, and no matter where it was, according to some opinions, even if it wasn't actually on the forehead of the Kohen Gadol. So I saw the question, what is this business? what is this tzitz? What's this Indian of it being on the forehead and the whole thing? This amazing. But what does it mean that it's written on a Kodesh Lashem? What is Kodesh Lashem? I mean, if it means the tzitz, then obviously it's Kodesh. Everything that was made for the Mishkan was Kodesh Lashem. So what does it mean, Kodesh Lashem? What is Kodesh Lashem? So some people say it means the Kohen Gadol. That when the Kohen Gadol is wearing it, he becomes so holy that he's Kodesh Lashem. But he's holy anyway. So what is this Kodesh Lashem? What is Kodesh Lashem? So we're going to see, hopefully, an amazing shot there. But first of all, let's just examine one or two very important basic points about that tzitz before we get on to our main theme. And that is, it's written Vasiso tzitz. So who is that talking to? Does anybody want to say Vasiso tzitz? No.
Betzalel?
Huh? Betzalel?
No.
That's a good suggestion, but nobody's mentioned Betzalel so far. We've never met Betzalel so far. We're going to meet Betzalel later on, the next week's Pasuk Kisiso.
Moshe Rabbeinu?
Huh?
Moshe Rabbeinu?
Oh, no. If you look in the whole Pasha up till now, it's written Biasu. They should make all the clothes of the Kohen Gadol. They should do this, they should do that. Yeah, it's all written in Lashon RABBI. Let them do this and that, let them do... We understand, it means Yidden in general have to make all these things. And later we'll be told who was the leader, and that was Betzalel, who was the leader of all the work. Over here it's written, after it's written plural in all the other places in the parasha, here all of a sudden it's written singular, Asiso. So that would appear that Moshe Rabbeinu has to make that tzitz. And that's unusual. This tzitz has to be made by Moshe Rabbeinu himself. But who's going to wear the tzitz? Who wears the tzitz?
Aaron, his brother.
Aaron. Aaron's got to wear it. And even though Moshe Rabbeinu made it, unless it's on Aaron's forehead, according to most opinions, it's not going to help. And where's it going to be carried by Aaron? It's going to be carried on the
forehead.
On the forehead, here. Yeah. So, it's a pretty amazing thing. It says the Gemara Masechta Shabbos, and the Gemara brings down in Daf Samud Gimel, Masechta Shabbos, it brings down and says the tzitz was like a thin piece of metal that went over the whole of his forehead from one ear to the other, covered the whole of his forehead, and it was held by this cord that held it in place, which was connected with the mitznefesh, and it had on itself Kodesh Lamed in the middle, if that's how we learn the Pshat. Kodesh Lashem in the middle, and it was made out of gold, and it was like a tas. It was a certain breadth, 2 etzbois, I think the Gemara said. So it's from one ear to the other. So it comes along the Marshua over there in the Gemara, and he asks, why should it be from one ear to the other? What's the meaning of that? And why does it have to go all the way across? If you want to say Kodesh L'Shem, we don't quite know exactly. Put it in the middle, have a little piece hang in the middle, Kodesh L'Shem. What do you have to have it going around? All the way around. So the Marshal says that it comes to teach us that the Chush HaRe'us, that's what he calls it, that he called the sense of sight. Because the Kodesh L'Shem has to be here, so that's where the eyes are. The sense of sight and the sense of hearing have to be Kulei L'Shem, Kodesh L'Shem. And the Marshal says that the Kohen Gadol, he carried on him a notice that said to all the Jewish people that you got to sanctify your hearing and your seeing only to theirs. That's pretty powerful stuff. In other words, that what were you given eyes for? You were given eyes to see good things. You don't look only where you see good things. What were you given ears for? Only to hear good stuff. That what you're not supposed to hear, you don't hear. You follow? Kodesh L'Shem means sanctified to the Eibishter. And he said that's what the tzis is basically about. So it comes out that that's pretty amazing stuff. However, I have another question. Just imagine that we had this, whatever we call it, tzit, and we didn't put on it any letters. We didn't make it Kodesh, we didn't write on it Kodesh L'Shem. Would that be anything, L'chorah? Just a piece of gold on his forehead. So it wouldn't be anything. Right? So in that case, it's very puzzling that the Pasuk says that you must make a tzitz out of gold, and only then it says, "U'petato lo b'tuchei choisem kodesh L'Shem." It's much more that the tzitz is a tzitz even if it didn't have the letters on it. First of all, make it tzitz, then write on it afterwards, Kodesh L'Shem. So that's sort of the question, what is this thing that would have been anyway, apparently a pretty powerful thing, and why is he called it such a strange name, tzit? Very strange name. So come along the great Meforshim, and they want to tell us quite an amazing thing. And they want to say that Motzei Shabbos, Be'ez Hashem, if you haven't done it already, we're going to make Kiddush Levana. And one of the psukim that we say in Kiddush Levana is we say that Hine zeh oimed achar kosleinu, the Eibishter, or maybe Moshiach, is standing after our wall, behind our wall, and there's a wall, and he's made tzit min hacharachim. He's looking through the cracks. Made tzit. So what does that mean? He's made tzit. Made tzit means that there's a bit of light in the wall, and the light is coming through, and that allows the possibility to see. So Lefisa, it follows that the word tzit means something which shines through, even though you may not have expected it to do so. And therefore, another amazing example of this is, you ever heard of the Chabad Nigan? It's a pasuk in Tehillim. How does it go? V'olov yotzis niyez, v'chol kanei rishoyim agadaya, Tamam Nakan Tzadik. Yeah, and then it says, Obi Olov Yotzitz Nizrei. It's literally the shiningness of Hashem will yotzit, it will shine, give forth on this person, on Moshiach. Let's not go into exactly what that's all about. But for that we see that this word yotzit is like oil coming out and shining, right? So you guys are all asleep. You should have immediately woken up and said, well, I put on every day tzitzis. Tzitzis is the same word. So the answer is, hey nachanami, it is. Tzitzis is the doubling up of that same word. Tzitzit is a tzitz twice over. Chet. Which means that when you look at your tzitzis, you're supposed to get lit up. There's divine light coming through and shining through tzitzit. And you guys don't know the famous story.
What famous story?
That the Baal Shem Tov, even when he was standing still, and he would stand still completely, his tzitzis would move. Yeah, the tzitzis of the Baal Shem Tov were always sort of jumping and moving. Yeah, it's put on his forehead. It's true. It sounds funny, but it's true. His tzitzis were always jumping and moving. Why? Because tzitzis means light, shining forth. And our Baal Shem Tov was light. So his tzitzis were always levitating. They were giving forth light. Yeah? So that's the infant tzitzit. Which means that Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, you've got to make a tzitz. You've got to make something which is going to shine a divine light from me down into the world. Once you've done that, oh, you've got this tzitz bringing down divine light, then open up on it letters. And on the letters it should be Kodesh La Hashem, and you'll have to learn Pshat. What does it mean, Kodesh La Hashem? So the Marshal said it means that the Riyah and the Shmiya are going to be holy to Hashem. But letters are already something which comes down into a more, what you might call, fixed and limited and specific type of world. But a bright light which comes down, Nomaila Lamata, is beyond these years. When it first starts shining and it comes at you, its effect is beyond letters. Then letters is a later step. Letters means that you're taking it in a more realistic way and you're bringing it into something which is expressible. And then that's got to say, Kodesh Lashem. And then if you're that way, and you're Aaron, then you carry it in such a way, but it had to be made by Moshe Rabbeinu. Mashma that if Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't make it, it's not going to have that effect. So therefore, we're running short of time. There's a lot to be said here. But it's put down in the Gemara, the Masechta Erechim, rather a rare Masechta. It's put down that all the big day kahuna, all the clothes that the Kohen Gadol wore, they all have a certain effect. They all, adequate chaper, adequate atone for, or in some way fix up things which are not so good in this world. So the Gemara says, what does it sit? What does it sit? Machaper, what does it correct and atone for? Azus meitach. Does everybody know what azus meitach means? How would you translate azus meitach?
Azus is like what's the
He's battling. What about you, Shalom? So the word Azus Meta means brazenness. How do you call it?
Impudence.
Yeah, being brazen. Is that a good matter?
No.
Huh?
Could be.
No. Well,
I don't know.
you should got doubts about it.
Maybe
But
not.
we'll fix him up if you go along. The thing is that Azus Meta is not good. Azus Meta is, you know, you don't say, I know what I'm doing and I'm against everything. I run my life, I know what I'm doing. Him, if you want to sort of knock around people, then get me on the man. That's what Azus Meta is. So it says that the tzit was machaper for all the Azus Meta. Now that means something. And why is Azut, why is that connected with the forehead, Meta? Because we see that your forehead is like the center of your whole attitude to things comes out in your forehead. You know, if you're determined, or if you're obstinate, or if you're in anger, or if you're very kind to people, you have a different forehead. It sort of shines, and your whole expression is commanded by the forehead. And it's a very amazing thing that the Gemara says in Masechta Beta. And the Gemara says that the most, how do you call it, azut of all the peoples in the world are the Yidden. Yidden are the most kifim people that have ever been created. Yeah. And it says that if Hashem hadn't given them the Torah, then they would have eaten up the whole world. What he did, Hashem gave them Torah, they're still very powerful, and they are the chosen people, and the whole thing. The fact that Hashem gave them Torah saved the day. Yeah. From that we see that Yidden have got hidden inside them a powerful unit called Azut. Azus Meta is a sign that there must be something here, something very powerful that's hidden here. What's it as far as Azach? So, since we're running short of time, I was going to tell you another story, but it'll take too long, and you have to apply, put in applications. I want to tell you like this. And that is that tzitz, tzitz implies light shining down, but it implies what we described before as the etzaman of it, the l'mayla mitavadas, beyond reasoning. And it comes from above. It's not really you, and yet it's not you. In other words, it's beyond the light of the very essence of the neshama, which really remains l'mayla. You ever heard about that? The very essence of the essence of the essence of the soul, that remains l'mayla. So what happens is that Hashem sends down, all of a sudden he sends down these amazing messages, l'mayla. And it comes in a way that it comes like a jumping and appearing light. It comes into your life. And some people call it Rabbi. How do you call it? Unlimited love of Hashem. All of a sudden fills up your life. And it's like a matana mumayla. And there's also a Torah from the Baal Shem Tov, which is similar to what we're saying. That sometimes a person will be walking along in the market or somewhere, and all of a sudden you have a tremendous shir of tshuva, Oh, now I'm going to be good, now I'm going to do it. Now I'm really going to be something different. That's a similar idea. And so Hashem sends down this unbelievable light from the very essence of the neshama, and that's called tzit. That's the etzem tzit. And that is to make Moshe Rabbeinu. Just imagine what you would be like today if you hadn't hit Lubavitch. And what does it mean you hit Lubavitch? You hit the river. Yeah. Just imagine, I can't imagine, but just imagine, so you can't, what life would be like if we didn't have the river. And we didn't have all the things that the river's given us. Yeah, what would it be like? Yeah, forget it. What lights up your Lamayla Mitamvadas? And what lights up this whole Indian life where you're prepared all of a sudden, and you're prepared to give yourself away. Lamayla Mitamvadas. Instead of, on Friday morning, sitting down and eating a bit of kugel or something, and having a cup of coffee and puffing a cigar, they'd say, oh yes, it's coming Shabbos, I'll get ready for Shabbos, or I'll keep all the dikdukim of Shulchan Aruch, and I'll do everything. What happens? You go crazy, as soon as Dunning's finished, you run out to the street and start filling on people. Cuckoo. You run around giving people to give some stock, and you go here and you go there, and all of a sudden you look at it, that's getting close to her, so you come rushing back and you fall over the chair, and so you try to get into the shower, and the other guy's in the shower, what's going on around here? You go to the mikveh and they're already closing the door, It's crackers. Oh, but that is a mile of it. And that is the koyach of the Rebbe. That is the tzitz, that's yotzit, light. Shines down into your life, and it not only lights up your life, it lights up other people's life. That's ato TEZAVE, you will join together all the Jewish people. You follow me? Ato, Moshe's essence, he's told to make the tzitz, as he saw you, Moshe Rabbeinu. He gives you that jumping light that comes down into your life. Tzit, without anything for the moment. Tzit, that's it. And then after that, what are you going to do? You got to start writing letters. You got to put it on the tzitz kodesh l'Hashem. What are letters? Letters are already what we call bina, understanding. That's already, you've got to take that tremendous elevation of the tzitz, what the Rebbe gives, only Moshe Rabbeinu can give. You got to bring that, and then you got to make a seder. You can't be running around the whole time, dancing with one group of people there and putting tefillin on them. The Rebbe didn't want that. He wanted certain times you have to, that has to be a seder. And you have to bring siddhis into your life, and you have to have an order, and things have to get together, and you have to know what you're doing. And you go to a test in the what do you call it, in the Yeridea. Is anybody here who went to the test? I don't think there's nobody here. They're all sloughing out. You have to tell them, we said by the SHIUR, that that's not exactly the way. The way is that you got to get this big light, but you got to bring it down and make a seder. You have to make a seder. And that's Piktator of Kodesh. Yeah, Kodesh l'Hashem. What has to be Kodesh l'Hashem? The Riyah and the Shmiyah. So the Riyah and the Shmiyah, apart from the simple meaning, but that means simple terms for sure. In their more developed meaning, Riyah v'Shmiyah are Chokhmah v'Bina. Or, even more general than that, the Indian of the light of Seichel and Kabbalah Soil. Just taking on yourself a yoke, giving yourself away to Hashem without reason. Re'iyah is pnimis ha-chokhmah. The pnimis of chokhmah is like you see something. Have you ever experienced, maybe certain times in life, where you get so convinced about something and so involved that it's almost like you see it. You actually see, you almost visualize it and you see it happening. And that's chokhmah. That's pnimis ha-chokhmah. And bina is more like you hear it. So that's chokhmah and bina. And therefore bina is called seichel. Because something that you see is not really seichel. And therefore chokhmah is not really seichel. But I can support that argument, but I just don't have the time and the koyach at the moment to do so. But chokhmah is not really seichel. Bina is seichel. Bina is the beginning of seichel, and you got to take that re'iyah, you got to bring it down in an ordered way in your life, and then, you know, the amazing story that happened with Shaul HaMelech, when he went to Amalek, and he left Amalek, he left the king of Amalek alive, and Hashem said, oh, that's the finish. You're no longer, Shmuel HaNovi said to him, you're not going to be a king anymore. You know the whole story, amazing story, that was Shaul HaMelech. So he said, yeah, but look, I bought all these behemoths from Amalek, you know, we'll be able to offer up korbanos to Hashem. So Shmuel HaNovi said to him, Shomoya mizevach toy. Hearing is better than the korbanos. And so it's explained to what do you mean by hearing is better? You should have listened to what you were told, not what you think. And hearing means what we call Kabbalah Se'er, where you accept on yourself, you don't really know everything, but you take on yourself a yoke. That's called Kabbalah Se'er Malchut Shamayim. And through that, you can beat Amalek. You follow? Because you're strong. Even though he might come with all sorts of shticklach and meiselach, but you're etiquette, you're Kabbalah Se'er. You don't know anything else. That's Shmiya. And what the Marshur says that the tzitz goes from this ear to the other, is it links the Shmiya and the Riyah together, and it makes them Kodesh
Hashem. Kodesh Hashem.
Kodesh Hashem. And that means that the Lamayla Mitam Vadas and the Tam Vadas get together. Like I said at the beginning of the class, the name of that chassid. That's the whole inyan of Chabad, is to unite the two of them together. And that's the whole inyan that's going to be now on the Meitzach of Aaron. Moshe Rabbeinu, he has to make it, and he makes it for you. And then you have to open on the letters, and he even gets the letters going for you. He puts the Tiras HaSidus in front of you in an ordered way. He gets your life in order for you and everything. Then there's an inyan that's got to be on Aaron. What Aaron is somebody that he loves people. Aaron is love. He's unlimited love for Hashem, but he's also love of people. But that's got to be on Aaron's meita, on his forehead. Which means that every now and then Aaron is somebody that he loves Hashem, he loves everybody, he's devoted only bit Aaron. I could establish that, but I haven't got the time to go into that at the moment. Aaron is seeing if an Ava, but he has to wear the tzitz on his meita. And we said to begin on meita because there's tkifas. So how does that come together? But that means, there's an old saying in Yiddish, Mitur kein Schmatter nicht sein. You're not allowed to be a shmata. So everybody says, I don't know what a shmata is. You know what a shmata is?
Fabric?
A floor washer. You're not allowed to be
Right,
somebody
right.
that they just wash the floor with you.
Schlepper.
How do you say? You got to have a keyfit. You have to stand firm. And there was nobody who stood firm like the Rebbe. The Rebbe was